Hey, what's up, everybody? Going to go through the NBA model again today, let you know what the model's seeing, what it's not seeing, and where it's most confident at. So there's the games for today. Got what the model's day 7 prediction is. I will go through day 1 through day 7, and then got the edges of where they're sitting after the day 7. First, we'll go through a recap of yesterday. Like I said, the model does try to predict scores. It's not really trying to predict the spread or the total. It's trying to figure out what each team will score based on everything. So Charlotte and Cleveland was pretty far off. A lot of that had to do with Charlotte's slow start. The Boston Indiana game, it was spot on Boston's score, 119. Um, and then Indiana came up 4 points short. New York and Brooklyn. Brooklyn was terrible, and New York was really awesome. I don't know. I didn't watch the game, but New York blew them out. So 4 points over for New York from the predicted, and what was that? Almost 60 points under, 50 points under for Brooklyn. So the Memphis game, we had Memphis predicted at 122. They scored 122. Atlanta scored 9 points more than expected or predicted. For the Detroit game, Detroit was predicted 4 points under. Uh, 4 points more than what they got. And New Orleans came up 12 points short of what they were predicted. OKC came up 3 points over what they were predicted, and Milwaukee was 10 points short of what they were predicted. And then the Toronto game, Toronto was 6 points over predicted, and Sacramento came 5 under predicted. So while the wins and losses may not have been spectacular, the model is doing what it's supposed to do. It's getting pretty close on a lot of these scores. So, all right, now we'll go ahead and get into the games. All right, so the first game we'll go over is going to be Charlotte and Orlando. Um, the models had Charlotte all week. It's fluctuated from about 1 point to 3 points on the margin that it thinks they'll win by. And the total has dropped from 237, 238 down to 231. The total's fluctuated a little more, but it's been in a downward prediction every day pretty much. One day kind of shot back up, but it's been over every day on the prediction, and it's been on the Charlotte money line and spread side since Orlando's favored by 5 points. So on this one, let's see, we got Charlotte at 9-15 on the road, 2-3 in the last 5, 5-5 in the last 10. I didn't see any new injury information, but they are on the second day of a back-to-back. Came out shooting pretty bad against Cleveland last night. Got it going in the second half. So Orlando is 13-6 at home, 3-2 the last 5, 5-5 in the last 10, and it looks like they might get Jalen Suggs back tonight. He was questionable. It's also their first game back since playing overseas in Europe. The series is 1-1 so far. Charlotte won the last game the day after Christmas, 120 to 105 in Orlando. And then Orlando won the first game back in at the end of October, 123 to 107 in Charlotte. So they've each won on the road, and Suggs is coming back. Charlotte's on the second day of a back and back. So not sure what's going to affect everything the most. I would think Orlando might be a little rusty. They've only played those 2 games in Europe, and it's had to have been like a week and a half probably. So they already had some injuries with the Wagner brothers coming back, and looked okay, but didn't look like they were flowing too well yet. So I think I would probably lean Charlotte spread is going to be a little safer. It'll give you some points. You can add a few more points and try to make it a little safer even from that. The overside, I mean, it's pretty close, and I with the way Charlotte struggled to score last night, and then Orlando coming back, I think they might end up on the underside. I feel like I'm they could come out hotter than I expect, but I think they'll be a little bit cold, at least on Orlando to start the day. Charlotte might be a little hotter after playing yesterday. Shooters are very streaky, and they at least got it going a little bit at the second half. So I think my favorite pick on this one would probably be the Charlotte spread. All right, now we got Chicago and Minnesota. Um, Model like Chicago, 114 to 110. Total is way under from the market, and the spread is way off from the market. As you can see from the graph, the model's pretty confused on this one. Ant was out for a while. Gobert missed a game. Giddy's been out for a while. Looks like he's questionable. May play today, him and Williams. So a lot of inconsistency with the teams, like not just their playing and their scoring, but also just who is playing. So this isn't one I would lean too heavy on the model for. As you can see, it started on Chicago, went to Minnesota for 2 days, Chicago, Minnesota, back to Chicago. The total has grown throughout the week, um, but it's still way under what the market has it at. They've played one time before, 136 to 101. Minnesota won that one, but it was pretty close at halftime. I think it was 55 to 50 at the half, and then Minnesota took off in the second half. That game was in Chicago. It was back in the end, about a month ago, December 29th. So Chicago is 7-13 on the road. They're 3-2 in their last five and 5-5 in their last 10. Minnesota is 15-6 at home. So they're better at home. 2-3 in the last five and 6-4 in the last 10. I didn't see any new injury information. It was just Terrence Shannon. So Minnesota, I mean, they have shooters. They can go off. They can score a lot. They can also play pretty good defense. I think the wild card in this game is if Giddey will actually play. He obviously creates a lot for Chicago, but he played the last game and they lost by 35. So it's a big spread, 9.5. I don't typically like to go that high, but I think Minnesota probably can cover that one. But a lot of that, like I said, it's going to depend on if Giddey plays. I think um, Vucevic might draw Rudy away from the rim a little bit. If Giddey can play, he can get in there and probably get some kickouts. I know that Kobe White's been playing pretty well, so I don't really think I have a favorite on this one, except I think I do like the under just because they only scored 105 points in the first half of the last game, and I just don't see the same type of runaway in the second half. I didn't watch the game. I don't know exactly what happened, but I have to think the shooters on Minnesota got hot and just kept laying it on. So I think my favorite on this one would probably be the under. All right, now we're going to get into Denver and Washington. This is one that was pretty heavy on Denver at the start of the week, and it's been shrinking most about halfway. It shrunk, and it's been staying pretty steady since then. So it started out at 6, 7, 8 points. Then it shrunk to 3, and it's been 3 down to 2. The total has stayed right around 229 all week long, 230. So that's where it's at right now. The market has Denver winning by 5.5, and it has the over under at 230, a little over 230. So the model has been on the Washington side and it has been on the underside ever since day 4. Earlier in the week, it did have Denver covering. This is going to be one that does have a lot of injuries in there. Murray, Gordon, and Hardaway were all probable for Denver. And then obviously they're still without Jokic, Valanciunas, Cam Johnson, Christian Brown. Um, Washington had Bagley, Middleton, and Koulibaly as questionable, and Vucevic as out. I think he's been out though. So Denver's 17-7 on the road, 3-2 in the last 5, and 6-4 in their last 10. Washington is 6-14 at home. They are 0-5 in their last 5. They've lost 7 straight ever since the trade. And they are 2-8 in the last 10. So Denver won the only matchup. It was not that long ago on the 17th, and they won by 6, 121 to 115 at home. So that was they covered the spread by half a point, and that one is what they opened it up for this game. Now there was less injuries in that game, so I would keep an eye out for the injury report on this one. Whoever has the better looking injury report, I would probably take their spread side. But probably a game I'm not going to touch. Just way too many questionable things in this game from the lineups. Just to Washington is not very good, so I would expect them to get beat by a lot. But if, especially if Murray and Gordon don't play, that's going to be a huge hit for Denver. So look out for the injury report and then see what you like after that. Okay, Golden State and Dallas. Obviously, the biggest part of this is Jimmy Butler being out, which, as you can see, the model had started on Dallas, flipped to Golden State slightly, and then after that injury, when they got blown out last game, it went right back to Dallas. So Dallas's injury report was pretty consistent, I believe. I don't think they had a whole lot going on. Gafford was questionable, and then Gary Payton, GP2, was questionable for Golden State. So I think Gafford's been out for a while though, or at least just been in and out. So I wouldn't think that would affect the model too much. Obviously, Butler is going to affect this a whole lot more. Golden State won their only matchup back on Christmas by 10 points, but in that game, Butler had 14 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds. So he almost had a triple double, leading team rebounder, leading team assist. So obviously, that's going to be a huge hit. Golden State already struggles on the road. They're 8-13 on the road. They're 4-1 in their last five. They lost the last one after Butler got hurt, and they are 7-3 in the last 10. Dallas is 13-11 at home. They are 4-1 in the last five, and they are 6-4 in the last 10. So I'm surprised Golden State had the spread is still on their side. They gave up like 147 points or something in the last game. That was terrible. They still scored a lot, got 120 some. So um, I like Dallas. I think that they can cover the spread. I think they might even be able to win the game. Uh, they had big games from Max Christie and Brandon Williams last game, I believe it was. So maybe look out for them again. See if they end up playing well. Cooper Flag also had a good game. It is just on the over side. I don't think I like the over or under on this game much. Um, I with Golden State's offense and just how it's going to affect their defense, because obviously they gave up a ton of points last game. I'm going to give them a few games before I think I put anything on any of them. So I do like Dallas, but not like a favorite pick of the day or anything. All right, now we got Houston and Philly. The model's been pretty consistent with Philly 7.7. The lowest they got is 4 points favoring them. So the Vegas has Houston favored 1.5 to 2.5, and then over under around 222. The model's at 223, so pretty close on that. Um, the graph looks really good. There's no big jumps anywhere, even with Philly having Embiid and George in and out of the lineup, which again today, Embiid was probable and George was questionable. So they might have both. It looks like they'll at least have Embiid, which they need him. He's when he's been in, they've looked like a completely different team. He opens up a lot, gets a lot of fouls, and even with the injuries, he's been playing pretty tough. So I don't know on this one honestly. Houston is 4-1 in their last five, but they've lost four straight on the road. They have not been a very good road team. They're 11-12 on the road. Philly's 11-12 at home. Like I said, Houston's 4-1 in their last five, 5-5 in the last 10, and Philly is 2-3 in the last five, and they're 5-5 in the last 10. The only person out for Houston was Adams again, so obviously that's a big hit on their rebounding. Um, he can get a ton in barely any minutes, but they have plenty of people to pick up the slack there. KD's been rebounding pretty well. Thompson, Jabari Smith's been rebounding really well. Obviously Shengun. So I would probably lean on the Houston side, even given their struggles on the road, but they they haven't been scoring a lot in any of their games recently. And Philly has some pieces. Maxey can put up a lot of points if he gets hot. VJ Edgecomb's been playing really well. Oubre, I think, hit a couple threes in the last game for him with Embiid and George out. So Philly's a tough one. Um, all season long, I feel like they've been losing games they should have won, and then they win ones that I think they should lose. So the model really likes Philly. You can decide if you want to go with that or not. I think I might maybe try to take Houston and flip it to the other side and just add some points if I can get it at a decent line, to be honest. All right, Lakers and Clippers. The model's been pretty steady on the Clippers all week. Just depends on the size of the spread. It has gone from, let's see, the smallest was about 2 points up to 6 points. Currently sitting at 2.5. Um, a lot of these games have had big injuries. Lakers have had a lot of people out. Leonard's been out now for the Clippers. I think he just missed 1 or 2 games, so not a huge difference, and he is questionable today. Obviously, that's a big part of their offense and defense on that team. Um, 1-1 in the series so far. Lakers won at home. Clippers won at home. So Lakers are 14-8 on the road. Big road trip today, all the way across town. 3-2 in the last five, 5-5 in the last 10. Clippers are 11-9 at home. They are 4-1 in the last five and 7-3 in the last 10. So the model has 225 for the over under, and Vegas has it at about 224, so slightly on the over. And then it does have the Clippers covering the spread, even though it's not a big spread. So if you feel like Luca and LeBron and Smart and them can keep it close, you might take the Lakers side and just add some points. You can probably get a pretty good line either way, whichever way you're feeling. Or if you want to just go more, you can go ahead and just take one of them to cover the spread, whichever side you feel. Because at one point, I mean, you can take either side, and whoever wins basically covers the spread. So, all right, we got Miami going to Portland now. The model's been pretty consistent on Portland. The spread has actually grown in confidence. So it started out at around 3 points, and now it's sitting at about six for the last couple of days. The over under is significantly under what Vegas has it at. Um, so the model has Portland covering the spread and the under, but there's a 15-point difference in the over under. So Vegas has got some information that they're adding into this. Um, Maybe it's the last game they played. There was 237 points. Miami won 136, 131 at home back at the beginning of November. Heroes out for Miami. Ware is questionable. And then Portland has Williams, Grant, Holiday, Sissoko questionable, and Murray and Henderson are out. So a lot of injuries on that side. Looks like Portland's going to be leaning really heavy into Abdia again. So Klingon, whatever will have to get on the boards against Bam. So I would take the under on this. I don't see how they're going to score that many more with these injuries from what the model's already been seeing. Um, I know both teams can play no defense and put up points, so that's probably where it's at, as the last game shows with 237. But Miami's 8-14 on the road, so they don't play as well on the road. They're 3-2 in the last five, 4-6 in the last 10, but they're without Hero again. Portland is 12-10 at home, 3-2 in the last five, and 8-10 in the last 10. So they've been playing really well, but they have a lot of injuries. So it's a late game. I would probably wait until you see that full injury report. If Holiday plays, that's a boost for the defense for Portland, obviously. Um, if Ware plays, he can protect the rim a little bit more, get some more rebounds if he actually gets minutes. Hero is going to be points away from Miami, I would imagine. They're going to have to lean way more into Powell, Jaquez, um, Wiggins. So I think I would excuse me, I would probably go with Portland in this just because of the model's confidence. Portland's been playing really well, 8-2 in their last 10. They've been playing really well at home. Miami doesn't play as well on the road. So I think Portland maybe on the money line or take the spread. I think that's probably pretty good tonight, depending on their injuries. Like I said, if all of those guys end up not playing, then I would stay away and maybe just watch and enjoy the game. The last game is going to be San Antonio at Utah. So the model has been on San Antonio all week, but only about 4 to 7 points, where the spread is about 13 points. So the model is on the Utah spread side. It's also on the underside. The over under is sitting at about 237, 238, and the model likes it at 234. So this is another one where injuries are going to play a big part. Not as much on San Antonio's side. They still have Vassell out, and then Sochan and Cornette are questionable. But Utah has Markkinen out again, and Keontae George is questionable along with Sensabaugh. So some really big injuries on that side, especially for their offense. Their defense is already not that great. Um, so maybe more points just from the defense not being good, but I don't see this going over. I do like the underside here. San Antonio, they've only gone over that total one time this in January, so they already played Utah not that long ago. 123, 110 on the 19th. So the 233, the total that it's at right now, is what they had last time. And excuse me, I just don't see them. San Antonio's not a team that gives up a lot of points. They play pretty good defense. Utah gives up a lot, but they've played twice this year. The most was 233. The other one was 231. So with the injuries, I would expect them to score less. I could see San Antonio getting a big lead and just sitting on it and even covering that 12, 13 point spread that they're sitting at right now. Um, if Georgia doesn't play, I don't think Utah has a chance. Here we got the NHL movement for the week. NHL hasn't been doing as well as I would like, but like I said, some of this you really want to look more at the movement than you do at the predicted winner because there's normally 3 points per team ish for a team in a game. So you want to see more how the trend is going. So like the bottom one was Vegas, went to Boston, went back to Vegas. That one could go either way, and there's a good chance maybe it'll go to overtime even. So sometimes with a lot of those, unless you think that a team has a chance of running away with it, I like to take the underdog at +1.5. That way, if it goes to overtime, you're good. The risk there is every single game. If it's a 1 point game and the team pulls the goalie at the end, that empty netter will kill you on these 1.5s. If you can get an underdog and take them to 2.5 at a good line, that's normally a better way to go. If you think it'll stay close, that way it saves you from that late empty netter, hopefully, unless they're down two. Um, but it likes Carolina here. Carolina's really good, and Chicago can stay in this game if Spencer Knight starts and has a really good game. Um, he can change everything for Chicago. Obviously, Bedard's really good, and he's back. But the model's been confident, 3.5 to 2.5 pretty much all week long. So I like that one. The Dallas and Columbus game, I'm a little surprised it's on Columbus, but Dallas has struggled with Ben out, their captain. So um, I don't know what the lines are. I didn't check on these. If Dallas is the underdog, I would probably take them at 1.5. If they're favored, I would don't think I would take Columbus at 1.5. I don't think I would take them on the money line. I think Dallas is still the better team, but they're going on the road and they have been without their captain. So hard to know. The two medium confidence ones will be Nashville and Minnesota. Detroit's on the second day of a back to back. They played a tough game yesterday, won in overtime. Low scoring game in that one. I believe it was 1-1 going into overtime. They won 2-1. Minnesota's been pretty good this season. They've been good at home, good goaltending, so I can see Minnesota winning that game. Excuse me. And Nashville, Ottawa. Not sure why that's in the medium confidence. I'm kind of surprised. I think Ottawa's a decent team. Nashville hasn't played up to their potential this year, I don't think. So, but that's all I'll go over for the hockey. Let's look at some of these college ones now. All right, so today I did get it sorted in order of confidence for the college. It's going to be on 3 separate slides. I'll still attach the file at the bottom if you want to check out the file on Drive. So there's got 6 high confidence, got some more medium confidence there. I think yesterday I want to say there was 2 that were missed that were I think medium confidence. I think it got all the high. It might have been one of each. So on the money lines, these are really good normally. It just depends on how far you want to go into the spread. On these, I look for consistency. There's a lot of training data with college basketball just because of the sheer amount of games that are played. Uh, so the things you want to kind of look at with this is just going to be the difference in competition, home and away. Things like that are things that can stand out where maybe the model will miss a little bit just in the overall, but the college has been actually really, really good. The amount of data it can train on has made the predictions really solid. All right, so we have 4 more of the medium. The rest are all going to be low confidence from the model. Some will hit, some will not hit, but it's a lot riskier that the model will get it wrong down there. Obviously, the model can hit or miss medium, can miss a high confidence one. These are college games, and I would say they're anything but consistent, and models love consistency. So I got one more slide. We'll flip over there real quick. All right, so here's the last slide. Um, and these do all have the abbreviations. I know they're kind of hard to figure out. If you click on the files that are in the description, they will have the full team names, make it a little bit easier for you. So if there's anything that's missing from these, if there's anything you want me to go over that you don't necessarily understand, or if you want more of my picks or whatever, I'm trying to leave this more for the model because that is all data. That's not just feelings, although I know there's a lot of feelings and storyline and stuff that actually go into all of this. So let me know if there's anything else you need from me. Good luck and try not to be too risky out there.